In 2003, McQuaid basketball drew 10,000 fans to Blue Cross Arena for 3 straight games. They chased and rubbed elbows with perhaps the game's greatest player and became a phenomenon in Rochester unlike any high school team ever. This is their story.
1, 2, 3.
We all kind of grew up in the same town. We all grew up in Pittsford and played youth basketball together.
Tyler and Marty had decided to come to McQuaid, and I was always on the fence, and that made the decision easy. You know, we won the championship in 8th grade, and I said, hey, let's continue this at high school.
That summer, we all were in the gym, holding each other accountable. You know, intense workouts, intense practices.
We would go to Midtown Athletic Club before we come to practice every day and shoot. I mean, so it wasn't, none of this was by chance.
The first practice was like a Division I practice. I mean, these guys came out for your throats, and you had to step up and challenge them every day.
You had the quiet shooter in Jack Leisure, who was a fantastic, fantastic knockdown three-point shooter. And then you had the 2 big guys, O'Sullivan and Pettinella, that could hurt you on the boards, and they could hurt you with facing up and shooting a jump shot. And then the conductor of it all, Tyler Relph used to shoot from way downtown. He really did some stuff, like some Steph Curry stuff, before people knew who Steph Curry was.
The Knights had a star head coach, too. Joe Marchese won 7 sectional and 2 state titles at McQuaid before 2003.
He disciplined you when you needed to be disciplined. He played the right people. You know, he had a great eye for talent. He was a good game coach, and he was instrumental in our success.
We didn't overcomplicate it, especially offensively, because we knew they played so much together. They would play off each other if they wanted to win. They understood what it took together to win.
McQuaid beat 3 nationally ranked teams that year, and in February played the primetime shootout in New Jersey, an event LeBron James also attended.
A kid who was very comfortable in his own skin and you could see he was a fun kid. Like, I mean, I remember him, you know, I think it was a player piano they had in the lobby, and he would get there like he was playing piano when it wasn't really him. And just, you know, he was a typical 16, 17-year-old kid.
His team comes in, everyone's, where's LeBron, where's LeBron? He shows up with an entourage of about 100 people. He couldn't get within, 100 feet of him.
Even when he was a kid, I mean, he was a professional when he was a high schooler.
I wish we would have played them, like, just because. You know, I mean, they probably would have pounded us, but it would have been cool.
McQuaid was #2 in USA Today's national rankings when they played the shootout. LeBron, St. Vincent St. Mary, was #1. LeBron's fame helped make the Knights and the rankings an attraction.
Didn't ignore them completely. You show up to school and guys are posting like the article in front of your face.
The casual fan would come out and watch. The casual fan that would never go to a basketball game in the last 5 years would go, let's go see what these guys are all about.
We'd come in for the JV game as players, varsity players, and there'd be lines, all the way down the sidewalk outside.
During the layup line, the security guards came out and moved our line just so the McQuaid team could run out, and I've never seen that done before.
The Aquinas game, I think they got so rowdy, they broke through the stands. You know, we had to get new stands, so there was just a buzz, there was a magic that year, an energy.
It was like we were rock stars.
McQuaid stayed unbeaten all the way to the state final and rallied from 7 down with 4 minutes left to win the championship their season demanded.
Winning that state championship was everything for us. You know, without that, we would have felt like the season was a failure.
It's like the Golden State Warriors, 73-9, but they got beat. So that doesn't matter.
Relph, O'Sullivan, Pettinella, and Leisure all had solid Division I basketball careers. Today, Relph runs a nationally known basketball training program. Leisure is McQuaid's head coach, with O'Sullivan and Pettinella on his staff.
He kind of has created that family with those guys, giving them a home to come back to and kind of recreated it. Except for now, it's hard for me to imagine, but they're the adults in the building.
If I really thought back, I could probably tell you specific stuff from this season, but the relationships are what carry on.
I don't know if at the time we appreciated it as much as we do now, because that was definitely a McQuaid team, was a team for the ages.
They kind of reestablished putting Section 5 on the basketball map. People outside of Rochester knew there was talent.
It was a roller coaster ride, but it was the best year or 6 months, I guess, that I've ever been a part of.
Joe Marchese, of course, passed away last October. This season was as fitting a legacy to his great career as there can be. And as O'Sullivan said, he had the time of his life that year, too.
And you know what? They were just kids. I grew up with a lot of them. You know, we've talked about that, Tyler and all that. And they were just kids. And that was the fun part, is they got this rise. And what a great piece. Thanks so much for sharing.
Just to have the war memorial packed like that.
It was something I've never seen before for a high school game and never seen since.
Yeah.